Lots and lots of dandelions here. Now, I'm not sure, they haven't used the pesticides here yet, but are what I'm looking for. And I'm going to dehydrate them and make a tea. The tea is a diuretic and it's also good for the kidneys and it's amazing for the blood pressure, of course, which I have. I'm also going to take a couple of the flower heads and I'm going to put them in olive oil and make some essential oils. Well, make some healing salves. So just a few of them. I don't need a lot. There's a lot here though, but I am going to dehydrate them. So I did bring scissors, but I'm literally pulling them with my fingers, and then I'm going to finish my walk. Okay, so I'm home, and I took some apple cider vinegar, and I put it in water with with the greens. And the reason why I'm going to soak them is because it'll get rid of any little critters that are in there. And then I'll show you the process. I'm going to leave it in there for maybe, I don't know, about half hour to make sure that I get, so I did get a few of the petals or the flowers, and that is going to be for essential oil. And then I got some really nice sized leaves. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to dehydrate them and I'm going to make a tea out of them. So I'll always have a jar of dehydrated dandelion leaves in my pantry. It's not a bad idea. The leaves, the flowers, the stems, the roots, I've soaked it all in apple cider vinegar, and now I'm going to literally take a towel and I'm going to lay it out on my tray. I love this tray. Dollar store fondant in. So I'm going to put a towel and I'm just going to lay it down. I'm going to let them dry, air dry, and then I'm going to take my dehydrator right there and I am going to dehydrate them. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take all the spindlies out of it and I'm just going to lay them on the tray to dry. Now I got a lot of them, So, and look at the size of them. They're big, big. Yeah. So it's gonna give an awful lot of dandelion leaves. The leaves are amazing for the kidneys. Apparently, I have never used them. I used to drink dandelion tea, but I purchased it. This is the first time that I've made dandelion tea from dandelion that I found alongside the road. So I'm hoping that there's no pesticides in it. I did ask if anyone knew of it being sprayed, and definitely they did not. They said it wasn't. Um, I guess what they're trying to do is they're trying to cut back on costs, and so yeah, there has been no pesticides sprayed there. They basically keep it trimmed pretty good when the dandelions come out. They keep it trimmed, and besides that, they dug it all up. Um, because they were fixing the railroad tracks and so they dug it up. So look at the size of them, like, and you can tell the kind of leaves because they're kind of like what do you call jagged, right? It looks like jagged. So I have to go through it because when I pulled some of these off, they a lot of plants came with it, right? So a lot of grass and stuff. So I'm trying to kind of like, divide and conquer, right? Get the grass out of there. Like, look at the size of that. So, and any bugs, any little critters that were in there, they went running because of the apple cider vinegar. So that's a good thing. That's a good thing. So this is the first time that I've actually attempted to make my own dandelion tea from dandelions that I found on the side of the road. Okay, so normally I get it from a farmer's field, but because of the fact that I don't have a car at this point, that it's just difficult to get out and to get them from out in the field. So you got to choose the second best thing, right? And that is there is tons and tons of dandelions where I go for my walk, tons of them. This lady who has a holistic healing channel
And she kind of has the old ways, right? And kind of like the witchy kind of persona. But I was watching one of her videos, and she was talking about making underarm deodorant. But she made the spray, and she made it with alcohol. So mine I make with castor oil, and I use the castor oil, and I go on my arms. I rub my arms with it as well as my armpits. But I do my arms, and yeah. So she was making underarm deodorant, and she was using spray, and I think she was using, I don't know if she was using mineral water or whatever, but she uses the same. She's from my genre. She's from my time, right? And she uses the same essential oil that I use. Well, it's not an essential oil. Mine is natural. It's a pure patchouli oil, and she uses the same thing. And so I was kind of thinking, a lot in common, a lot in common. So I subscribe to her channel, and I am going to start watching some videos. And some of the videos she had were like really interesting, was interesting. It taught me skills that I didn't have before. And I have respect for someone from my time who actually has basically made a living out of what she does. And she has a healing event. They have a healing event that they do. I don't know if it's every 6 months or every year or whatever, but I am definitely going to look into that. So I'm going to post her link down below. But some of the things she was talking about really were really interesting. Now you can eat these. Apparently you can eat them. I'm not going to. I'm going to drink them. I am going to dehydrate them. Then I'm going to put them in a glass jar, keep them in the cupboard. And every once in a while I'll take some. Well, I'm going to try to do it for like a week every day. I'm going to take a tea ball and put some of the dried dandelion leaves in and steep it in a tea. Because usually I have 1 cup of coffee in the morning or 2 cups in the morning. And then I have in the evening hours or the afternoon hours, I will have tea. So I'm going to try this. First, I'm going to let these kind of, get some of the wet out of them. And then I'm going to put them in the dehydrator. So that's one of the things that she talked about that I'm going to do. The next thing she talked about was, she talked about the dandelion, like making a medicine out of the flowers. So I took a couple of the flowers, and I'm going to take them out now. And she said to use virgin olive oil and to literally, I'm going to wait till these dry out a little bit, to literally just take the flowers, put it in a little jar, fill it up with virgin olive oil, and leave it ferment, leave it sit in it. What would you call that? Leave it in the jar for a couple of weeks, I think she said, right? I'll have to look back on the video, can't remember, but I mean, I'm on the first stage, right? I just got the flowers, so I think she said to leave it in there. I think it needs to ferment or whatever for the goodness of the flour to kind of seep into the oil, right? And so you leave it for a couple of weeks, and I'm going to do that. So there you go. I have, isn't that pretty? Yeah. And we can actually turn to weeds in our garden that actually can help us heal. So dandelion leaves are a diuretic. So if you're on a diuretic, I'd suggest not to do this. This is the holistic method. I have, this is something that I can do. I can do this because I do not take a diuretic. Now, apparently, dandelion leaves are also full of potassium, and potassium is amazing to lower your blood pressure. So this is also a good thing. You can eat these in a salad, and I have seen it in field greens that I purchase at the store. And I haven't purchased them for a while, but you can buy it in field greens at the store. There is dandelion in there. So these have got potassium. They're a diuretic. They're good for a lot of things, right? So, and then the flowers, I'm going to infuse them in virgin olive oil. Now the roots, apparently the dandelion leaves are good for the kidney, okay? And the dandelion roots, which I didn't get any today. I wasn't able to dig any up. I got to take a little tiny trowel with me next time. But the dandelion roots are good for the liver.